Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy, how are you? Okay. Oh, wait.
Presumably at the bottom, but it has the mic.
House. Okay. Hi, Morrow.
Hey, Jim, how are you, sir? Can
Nice
you
to
hear me
hear
all right?
you.
Good to hear you
Always
again, my
good
man.
to have you in my ear, Mr. Morrow.
Same thing. Thanks, Jim.
Shoot over the monitors like we talked about, right? So where is it supposed to go?
Are you going to put the interviews over to the house while we're in the ring? Okay.
All right. Perfect. Yeah. Where's your wife? She's in here. Cool.
Hi, testing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. No, the house is not. It's not going over in the house. No,
Yes.
did not go in the house. Okay. Jimmy Lennon, me, my wife, stage manager, makeup.
Stage manager there.
No, my stage manager.
Your stage manager.
The one who goes in the ring with me. She needs a place.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, good to see you, Jimmy. Have fun tonight, my man.
You too, sir.
It's all we can do, brother.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Yes, sir. All good.
One more right here.
I did, yes. Okay, all right, thanks.
So what's the thing here in the beginning? Me and Keith and Joe. And boom, boom, boom. So Vito Mielnicki against Ronald Cruz. Cruz, most experienced guy Mielnicki's been in with. James Martin beat him, but Cruz is the best opponent he's faced. Correct, guys? Would you say, Joe? For Vito Mielnicki, his best opponent? Ronald Cruz? We're just talking to you. We're just talking.
They're in the truck right now. They're in the truck.
The fight with Cruz, is that his most experienced opponent, right? It's a step up for Vito. Okay, good.
McNeely to turn around and tell.
And you're familiar, obviously, Keith, with Vito's trajectory and what he's done and who he is and all that wonderful stuff. Their first two fights. Cool. Ramos won, with all due respect to Erickson Lubin, Ramos won that fight. Everyone agrees that that was highly controversial. So he's going to try to make a statement tonight. And with Johan Gonzalez, a guy who obviously 33 knockouts, 34 wins, but the last fight he went the distance and found himself in a bit of trouble. But in any case, you're here to, you're here to react to what you see in the ring. Why is it working? Why isn't it working? Why is he using, all that kind of stuff. And let's hope we get to it.
Okay, do you still hear echo?
Yes.
He said he still hears that. Really?
Charlie Brown's teacher.
Yeah, the speaker's off. The headphones are plugged in. Okay.
What did he say?
He's gonna try. He's gonna.
Can you hear me, Tom?
Yeah, give him a second.
Yes, Larry, hello there. It's the gang at ringside, Morrow, Keith, and Joe. How are you?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, sir.
Echoey though.
You still hear the echo?
Yeah.
I'll let the truck answer that. I hear you. That's all I can say.
What is he saying? He said he's gonna check on his. Your mic is right here. So you press it.
Can you hear me, Tom?
We can hear you at ringside, yes?
All right, they were having a problem with the echo. Is the echo still there?
It's yes, I guess so, but it's, again, I'm not the audio guy. I'm not the producer. It definitely sounds like you're not, it's, I know it's not optimal, but that's what it's, I guess what we're trying to do here. So I'll let them answer that.
Is it still echo, Tom?
If it echoes, we're gonna try.
Doesn't sound good. Is Jimmy Lennon here?
Okay, good enough.
10 minutes to air. Woohoo!
Down here.
Yeah, Keith, so right here, there you got it. Yep, when you need to talk to them right there, and when you need to clear your throat or you want to tell us something, this it mutes you to the audience. So this will be your cough button.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Get somebody to get some water over here.
He's on his talk back. He's pushing the button.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They need to be bigger, so you're not holding this big mass in your hand. Sorry. Come this way.
So Tom, just for me and you, I'll do. So blue corner is Vito. Not my glasses, no, ma'am.
Welcome to Las Vegas. You know, this city has been the site of so many memorable fights over the years, but tonight, Sin City will play host to history. Two Mexicans fighting each other for the undisputed title here in the fight capital of the world for the first time. Oh, we're inside T-Mobile Arena. Just a mere walking distance from the bustling Las Vegas Strip. They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, tonight everyone's eyes will be on what happens right here later tonight on PBC Pay-Per-View when Canelo Álvarez squares off against Jaime Munguía for all 4 super middleweight belts. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Custer. You know, we got a tremendous night of action coming your way. Cinco de Mayo weekend is synonymous with big-time boxing here in Vegas. And for the past decade, it has been synonymous with the name Canelo Álvarez. Well, in just a few hours, though, on PBC Pay-Per-View, Canelo Álvarez will defend his undisputed super middleweight titles for the 4th time since stopping Caleb Plant to unify all 4 belts. His opponent, Jaime Munguía. He's young, he's strong, doesn't know yet how to lose. He's coming in, putting his perfect 43-0 record on the line. We got 3 other fights as well to fill out the pay-per-view fight card, including a couple of Mexican-American favorites, Mario Barrios, Brandon Figueroa, both former world champions. And folks, listen, you can order the fight right now. Well, it is time for our first fight of the evening. So let's go ringside to the men calling all the action tonight. Mauro Ranallo, Hall of Famer Joe Goosen, and the former champ Keith one-time Thurman. Mo?
Thank you very much, BC. The prelims on Prime belong to the 154-pound weight class and an up-and-comer, the 21-year-old Vito Mielnicki Jr. He has won 9 in a row since his only loss and has had 4 consecutive knockouts, including back-to-back first-round stoppages. He faces a veteran in Ronald Cruz, who's 19-3-1. He's never been stopped, the most experienced opponent of White Magic's career. Let's get the official introductions with Miguel Flores. Mielnicki tasted defeat for the first time in April of 2021 against James Martin via majority decision. That was a fight where Mielnicki learned the 8-round loss via Martin. That Benjamin Franklin quote, I'm sure you're familiar with it, Joe and Keith. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. And Mielnicki, hey, still a young guy, said, no, I got this in the bag, and instead he's tasted his first loss. He's been fully committed since, now working with Ronnie Shields, and obviously a potent right hand is his calling card. And let's now go to Miguel Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Canelo Promotions presents an incredible night of boxing. These are the PBC prelims on Prime Video, brought to you by Canelo Promotions, TGB Promotions, in association with Golden Boy Promotions and Zanfer Boxing Promotions. Sponsored by Corona Premier, the exceptional light beer. It's fight night. Light it up. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, only in theaters May 24th. VMC Tequila Cocktails, el origen ante todo. Value Casa de Bolsa. El Mexicano brand products, bringing authentic sabor to your table. Somos El Mexicano. O'Reilly Auto Parts, professional parts people. And DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Our 3 judges ringside for this one are Chris McGlory, David Sutherland, and Don Trella. The referee in charge of the action is Robert Hoyle. And now PBC presents 10 rounds in the super welterweight division. Introducing first in the red corner, wearing the blue trunks with white trim. He weighed in at 152 1/4 pounds. His record stands 19 victories, 12 wins by knockout, opposite of 3 defeats and 1 draw. Fighting out of North Hollywood, California, here is Ronald Diablo Cruz. And now introducing his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the dark blue trunks with the red and white trim. He weighed in at 153 1/2 pounds. With 17 victories, 12 wins by knockout, and just 1 blemish. Fighting out of Roseland, New Jersey, he is a world-ranked contender and young rising star. Here is White Magic, Vito Mielnicki Jr.
Okay, guys, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Any punches that land here on the belt line will be legal. Anything here will be legal, okay? I don't want you to make this fight about me. Keep it clean, all right? Scoot back.
All right, let's take a look at the 4-1-1 when it comes to the pertinent numbers, the tail of the tape. And you notice Mielnicki is 6 feet tall. Cruz is only 5'9", and yet Cruz has a 4-inch reach advantage. He'll try to establish the jab and try to keep the power of Mielnicki at bay. Referee Robert Hoyle will preside over this 154-pound encounter, scheduled for 10 rounds, but in his last fight last December, Mielnicki stopped Salim Larbi in the first round, dropping him twice and knocking him out cold with a single right hand.
If Mielnicki could stop Ronald Cruz tonight, he's doing something big, because Ronald Cruz, of course, trains out of my gym every so often. He's a very talented fighter. He's very slick. And if Mielnicki can take him out, that's going to be a big feather in his cap.
You also trained Vito Mielnicki, and again, a kid who turned pro at 17. He was still a high school student and actually was given an exemption by New Jersey to become the youngest fighter ever to be licensed in his home state, the Garden State. What stood out for you most when you worked with Mielnicki?
Well, look, he was young. He hadn't matured yet, but you could see the talent, just like I saw in Ryan when he was in my gym at 17, Garcia. But Mielnicki, you knew was going to grow into the sport, grow into the weight division he's at right now, and he's on a hot streak right now with knockouts, and in the top 10 in the WBA right now. So he's made some great strides.
We welcome one time to Prime, Keith Thurman. For Cruz, his first fight in Las Vegas, second fight in 140 days. He's only 1-2-1 in his last 4 contests, but he got back into the win column in December with a unanimous decision win over Jose Aguirre in his family's homeland of El Salvador. But he's supposed to provide a test. He's supposed to give Vito Mielnicki a taste of the adversity that's to come in a professional fighting career, right? This is a step up, ostensibly, for Vito, Keith.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to do with Vito at this stage. Just somebody who's got the experience, somebody who's a little slick. Vito's got a lot of knockouts. He's young. He wants to make a big name. He wants to make big statements. And, it's his job to do that. But you can't make it easy for him. You've got to challenge him. He's already got one little upset in his career, so he knows that this truly is a challenging sport, that no one's going to just hand it to you. But I got to say, I like what I'm seeing from Vito when it comes to the way he was working the jab. He already started feigning. From what I saw in the past films, I already, in round 1, see a little bit of maturity, and I look forward to seeing how this fight unfolds.
So it is. Mielnicki was establishing the jab, and we've seen him go to the body, and of course we know he's got a potent right hand. And you talk about sitting under the learning tree. He's got the respected Ronnie Shields in his corner. Cruz is working with a Hall of Famer in Virgil Hill, so plenty of experience when it comes to their respective chief seconds. And there's Cruz doubling up on the jab, trying to follow up with the right hand, and yet it is Mielnicki who continues to try to establish rhythm, but a good counter. Nice right hand from Mielnicki as we are into the final seconds of this hello, how are you? Let's get to know each other opening round. So happy to be here at ringside T-Mobile Arena, the home of the biggest Cinco de Mayo party this weekend. And of course, we welcome Keith Thurman and Joe Goosen to the broadcast. And Keith, of course, you've been on the shelf. You were supposed to headline the first PBC pay-per-view on Prime, but you suffered an injury. How's your recovery going?
Yes, it was very unfortunate. We were getting ready, but so far, you know, with the recovery, it's actually good. I'm ahead of schedule. My physical therapists are very happy. I'm very happy. I already have full range of motion. They just said, don't flick it out, don't jab yet, and just take it one step at a time.
All right, happy to have you here for the prelims. Joe, mega main event, the biggest, literally the biggest all-Mexican title fight in history. Canelo puts his undisputed title on the line against the hard-charging Jaime Munguia. What excites you most about that fight?
Well, the fact that both of these guys are winners. Look, Munguia is 43-0. He's never lost a fight in 43 fights, and Canelo, of course, in 65 fights has won 60 of them. It's an incredible matchup, and there's going to be a lot of fireworks tonight.
Well, we saw Mielnicki get upset early in his career, as we mentioned, but he's reeled off 9 consecutive victories. He's starting to, well, grow into that man strength. He is now 21, so he's legally an adult in these great United States of America, but against the 32-year-old Cruz. As we begin round 2, the jab was key in that opening round.
And you saw right there, Mielnicki threw a right hand. Cruz slipped it and landed a nice left hook to the body. He's a very slick guy, so he's going to really test Mielnicki here, who landed a nice right uppercut and right hand in the first round.
That's nice right uppercut from Vito right there.
Double jab with the high guard employed by Cruz. Took it off his gloves. Nice jab to the body by Cruz. So using some versatility when it comes to the stick.
Yes, like you said, Joe, Cruz is very slick. I saw it in some of the field before I had to be here. And just that little position, you know, and what he did in the first round, the way that he landed that double jab, the right hand, the left hook, you know, he's very patient. He just wants to sneak in, almost like catching the young man off guard.
Exactly. He's got a lot of veteran tendencies for a guy that has had under 20 fights, basically, or thereabouts.
Cruz continues to target the body with the jab, follows up with the right hand. Mielnicki fires a jab back as well, looks to split the guard. And of course, for Mielnicki, everything starts with the jab. He's feeling more comfortable, more patient on the inside, not so jittery. He talks about controlling the fight at any time and knows that he's got the potential to hurt someone. And you look at his landed punches, 42% are body shots, 40% for Cruz. That's both of them way above the 29% CompuBox average. So lots of body work. We just saw it right there. So plenty of investment early in the fight, Keith.
Yes, but, you know, crafty veteran there. He blocked it very well, moving. So far, I haven't seen that power. You know, I think Mielnicki knows that there's going to be multiple rounds in this fight. He knows he's in there with a veteran. So he's just tap, 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 and still getting a feel.
Yeah, Vito has not thrown his power yet. I mean, right now he's just trying to see if he can measure that distance and start touching him with that right hand, which he has done a couple times. The other thing is, Mielnicki, that was almost a nice counter by Mielnicki with the right uppercut. He's holding his ground more than he did when I was training him back in the day. I was showing him how to hold the ground a little bit more, and you can tell he settled in to a pro style much more than he did when he first started with me. And lastly, Cruz has got 23 fights, not under 20.
Another tactical round for both fighters, and we mentioned the fact that Joe Goosen, well, you worked with Vito Mielnicki right at the start of his career, and talk about what it was like to welcome a youngster into the pro ranks.
Look, he looks like he was 17 there.
And he was.
Yeah, and look, we talked about it so much, and there's Ronnie Shields giving him instruction, but we talked about how he was going to grow into that, and it was good not to feed him too many tough opponents early on. He was only 17, right out of high school. So this is the right time and the right guy, I think, for Vito, because Cruz is going to test him. That's for sure tonight.
I saw towards the end of the round, Vito was opening up with more of those power shots, landing the right uppercut. He even finished right at the bell with a right hand, left hook. So I expect to see a little bit more action in this round. You know how it is. They start a little slow, they pick it up. And if I was a betting man here in Vegas, I'd say Vito's going to dig a little bit more this round.
That makes sense.
He's starting to look comfortable.
Yeah, the feeling out process has already taken place.
And we begin round number 3, scheduled for 10. Mielnicki's only been the 10-round distance on one occasion. That was against Limber Ponce in October of 2022. For Cruz, he's gone the 10-round distance twice. He's 1-1. And he turned pro when Mielnicki was 14, and actually 14 of Cruz's 23 opponents, though, had non-winning records. So again, Ronald Cruz, a tough veteran. I know you say he's very much in demand when it comes to sparring in the Los Angeles area. Vito Mielnicki, when he worked at Joe Goossen's gym, he had his eye on Cruz, and but they never did spar, did they?
No, they never did, because you know, I was careful about who I put Vito in with. I selected his sparring very carefully.
High guard by Cruz, but not firing off any punches. A very muted start to their respective offenses.
A question I have for Keith. Keith, when was the turning point? When they fed you your first tough opponent? Do you remember who it was?
It had to be. It had to be here. It actually had to be in California. I fought a Cuban.
By Mielnicki, curled around the guard.
And he was an undefeated Cuban, and it was the test. It was the fight that really got me on De La Hoya's radar when he started to say, this kid is something special, you know. And then the biggest and the real most impressive performance that was early on in my career happened to be against Diego Chavez, once again an undefeated fighter. That was testing me at that time in my career. But there's stages to this, and you need to climb the ladder properly.
Both known for their high output when it comes to body shots, but more headhunting in this fight between Cruz and Mielnicki. Mielnicki starting to utilize the jab more, trying to curl that right hand behind the high guard of Cruz. Cruz goes back to the body, follows up with the right. Nice counter left hook to the body by Mielnicki.
But you see, Mielnicki's starting to put pressure on now. And Keith was right, the fight's starting to heat up. You know, sometimes you feel the power or the lack of power from your opponent. You go, you know, I'm going to start walking him down. And that's what's going on right now with Mielnicki.
Definitely throwing more right hooks, more right hands. Nice body shot there by Mielnicki.
There's that right hand, but Cruz avoided it, and I mean, he was a sniper shot that dropped and stopped Mielnicki's last opponent, Larby, and he was down for a few minutes. Nice to see that he did leave the ring. Reversion right at the bell, a left hook dropped Cruz, but I think it came.
They're counting it right at the bell, like you said.
That was a right uppercut left hook, which Mielnicki's been landing for the last couple of rounds, that same combo. Off the right hand of Cruz as he gets under, throws the right uppercut left hook, and they finally caught him with it.
Slightly after the bell.
But he was already in motion.
He was in motion. He wasn't going to pull it back.
No.
Right after the bell. Protect yourself at all times, and that's why we say that in boxing.
Absolutely.
The judges, you know, they might have to reverse that call, but we'll see how this plays out.
That stands.
This is round number 4, scheduled for 10 in the 154-pound weight class. Cruz going down for the second time. Was knocked down most recently 2 fights ago in round 1 by the undefeated blue chip prospect Xander Zayas in June of last year. Cruz ended up going the distance, losing an 8-round unanimous decision, and now has to get back into this fight after the referee Robert Hoyle scored it a knockdown for Vito Mielnicki, who again, as we mentioned, riding a 9-fight winning streak, but he's won his last 4 fights via stoppage.
I think Vito's showing a lot of good patience here. Even though he had Cruz down at the end of the round, he's not trying to go after him too hard. He's still got plenty of rounds left in this fight, and he's going to look to counter and hurt him again.
Doubling up that left hook right there, chasing him.
And yet Cruz remains committed to the jab to the body, trying to slow Mielnicki down, trying to decrease his mobility. Mielnicki on his back foot right now, trying to set a potential trap. Nice jab, splitting the guard of Cruz, but no follow-up with the right hand, and now it's Cruz trying to irritate Mielnicki with his jab, trying to make his jab as annoying as autocorrect. As Mielnicki now continues to try to open up.
And he jumped in with a nice little right uppercut short hook that the hook landed off of Cruz. But Mielnicki's being very selective and very accurate.
Right hand off the shoulder by Cruz. There's a stab jab to the body by Mielnicki, and Cruz just missed with that counter right hand, Keith.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it grazed off the side of the head of Mielnicki. Go ahead, Keith, sorry.
Yeah, he touched him a little bit on the inside. You know, right before that knockdown, I noticed the cut. You see that cut, Joe?
Yeah, right on the left eye of Mielnicki. Yeah, he just checked his glove for blood.
Nevada State Athletic Commission has confirmed that it was a knockdown, so Mielnicki with the first knockdown of the fight, now using his mobility to avoid the offense of Cruz, but single shot.
Mielnicki knows he's cut right now, Marl, and he's a little concerned with it, and the corner's getting prepared with the medicine. They're going to try to
That's a nice right hand by Mielnicki. Now Mielnicki looks to open up.
Yeah, he knows he doesn't want this fight stopped on a cut, so he's going to open up right now.
And you see the urgency.
Now, was that cut by that little grazing right hand?
I believe it was, Joe.
When Cruz made that little turn on him.
Yeah, the little turn.
So if it was, of course, here we are in round 4. It does become an issue. Beautiful jab by Cruz, and that forces Mielnicki to double up. Another left hook drops Cruz for the second time in the fight. A chopping left hook by Mielnicki.
And that was after Cruz landed a right hand. It was a counter hook off a right hand by Cruz, which landed. That's a shame he's cut like that.
Two knockdowns courtesy of left hooks. The story of the fight for Vito Mielnicki Jr., the 21-year-old from New Jersey, the son of promoter Vito Mielnicki Sr., as we revisit the offensive attack of Vito Mielnicki Jr.
So there's the right hand, counter hook, right on top of the head. And there's that same look, but from a different angle.
So you said it was unfortunate that he got cut, but I see that Vito. Oh, so boom, right there on the exit.
He did get hit with a little left uppercut. Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly which one, because that landed clean also.
One of the
and grazed across, right?
Exactly.
But what I noticed in that round, when Vito felt the blood dripping, you know, he went harder.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
And I've seen already a little bit that Vito's a little bit of an emotional fighter. Even before that first knockdown, Cruz stepped in with a powerful right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed, Vito was talking out his mouth for a second, you know? He liked it. He said, you know, I don't feel your power, but all of a sudden you want to show me yours, I'm going to show you mine.
Right. Well, he's got an attitude. He's got a lot of confidence. That was even at a young age. And he's really showing that he's got a lot of power now. He's grown into his man strength, and he hurts you when he hits you, especially with that hook. And quite frankly, the right hand was the hand he always depended on before. So the hook, that's a new addition. I like it.
Another left hook landed for Mielnicki, who started his career at the age of 7 as an amateur, again turned pro at 17. For Cruz, he had no amateur experience, was involved in other forms of combat sports, learning on the job, and he says every chance he gets, he's going to take full advantage of it. He's in this position, and love him or hate him, he wants you to enjoy the show. Well, you have to ask him if he's enjoying himself thus far after being dropped twice with a left hook from Vito Mielnicki, as we are a minute and 45 seconds away from completing the first half of this scheduled 10-round affair, kicking off the PBC prelims on Prime. Our unofficial scorer, Larry Hazard, has Mielnicki pitching the shutout. And of course, the last 2 rounds, 10-8, thanks to those left hooks from Mielnicki, going to the body now, doing a good job of shoe-shotting downstairs.
Yeah, Mielnicki's showing a good variety of punches. He before that shoe shine, he went to a little slip and a left uppercut. That was nice. Then went to the right hand, left hook to the body, and there you go, left hook, right hand.
Yes, nice mix up.
Yeah, he's got a good variety going for himself right now.
Final 60 seconds of the 5th round. Mielnicki using the jab and then follows up with the right hand. Cruz avoiding it, but then eats the left uppercut. Cruz has actually sparred with Jaime Munguia a number of times, and of course Munguia in the fight of his life coming up tonight in the main event against Canelo Álvarez as the undefeated youngster from Tijuana challenges Canelo for the undisputed super middleweight championship. And even Cruz says, yeah, we know Canelo is a tough order, but Munguia is a tough guy, takes punches like a brick wall, and Cruz saying what we all expect, an exciting fight in tonight's main event, and this fight now starting to cook a little bit.
Yeah, Cruz landed a nice, about 10 seconds ago, a little right hand, left hook, and he's been peppering Mielnicki with short right hands, looking to open that cut up again. So,
nice counter right hand, and that was a right hand that dropped Larby, but Cruz takes it, and again, Cruz has lost 3 times, has been down 3 times, never stopped.
Great pressure there to close out the round.
Anthony, get the water.
This motherfucker don't want it like you. You find that shit. Let's go.
Come on. You gotta look. Set him up for that overhand right of yours.
Yeah.
Gotta throw it.
Yeah.
Gotta throw it. He's not even looking for it now.
Yeah.
All right, and come right back with your uppercut.
Okay, yes, sir.
Then right back to the middle.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Step off. Step around.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Let's do all the shit that we did in the ring. All that fucking blood is his blood. Let's go.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
good?
Sir. Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. What do you want to do? What are you gonna do?
Yes, sir. Step over. Step over. Step over. Work that drag hook. Set up the overhand. Yes, sir.
Vito just getting so comfortable, opening up. Beautiful right hand right there. Taking the punching power. I think he's losing respect for Cruz, and that's why we just see him walking him down and dishing out more and more damage. What I do like from Cruz is after those knockdowns, and you can see it right now, that he's opening up with that high guard. He's really trying to protect himself from the left hook, but like you said, originally Vito's damaging punch is the right hand. So, you know, he's got to protect himself from both sides.
And you got to blame Cruz a little bit for getting hit with his right hands, because the jab, you know, he kept down low, and Mielnicki came over the top. So he's kind of his own worst enemy right there for the right hand.
Yeah, a little lingering jab. Joe, how do you feel about the patience that you're seeing from Vito tonight?
That's what a pro should look like, what he's doing right now. I think he's really, you know, working his way into the point where you are very comfortable. I think he looks very comfortable right now, and he's very capable. I like the strides he's made right now. He looks really good, and I think he's going to be a very hard guy to deal with once he figures his game out completely.
Yeah, I like the maturity, you know, because we're here in Vegas. This is such a big night. You know, he could just be trying to rush it and make a big name, make a big statement. He's already got 2 knockdowns, but that patience that I'm seeing, and you just knowing him from when he was 17 years old, you know, I'm pretty sure that his team is very satisfied with his performance. So
I agree. Mauro, what do you think? You like Mielnicki as an up-and-comer?
I'll leave that to the analyst. I'm here to tell the story and call the play-by-play.
Oh, okay. Don't dare answer one of my questions ever again. No, I'm just kidding. Look, I mean, the bottom line is then I'll direct it.
Nice left uppercuts there. Let's focus on this fight, guys. Lots of punches being thrown here. Just over a minute left in the 6th round, and Mielnicki, thanks to the 2 knockdowns, beginning to find his rhythm, building the momentum, beginning to open up a little more. Cruz now against the ropes, but you know with Cruz, you're going to get a gritty customer. You're going to get a guy who'd never say die and always against it. And throughout his career, comes in again. This is his 24th professional fight. He's got 12 knockouts. Not known for his power, but he's always been known as a guy who's going to give you tough rounds, and Mielnicki so far is passing the test.
And we're halfway through the fight right now, so there's a long way to go still for Cruz, right?
And Cruz just snuck in a nice overhand right. You know, the last bell, that's exactly what his team was asking him for.
Couple of nice lead right hands by Mielnicki.
Like you said, Cruz has no quick. He is not going to lie down. Doesn't matter if he's been dropped twice this fight. He's looking for the openings. He's still looking to challenge Vito.
And of course, the kind of experience that Vito Mielnicki will need as he continues his rise in the 154-pound weight class. Again, just 21 years of age.
I need to bring the water. All right, thanks. Where the bucket at? Put it in between his legs. Yeah, look, but keep walk down with your hands up. Okay? Walk him down with your hands up, not down. Okay? And listen, you can move your head side to side and throw a hook in the right uppercut. Okay? Sometimes just double that hook up. Let him catch it. That's okay. You're trying to get the uppercut in. Okay. Double the hook when you close, and then bring the uppercut, then back with the hook. Okay? Move the head though. I want the hands high. Okay. Okay? Protect that eye. Give me a deep breath.
Mouthpiece, guys.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Round 7 coming up. Round 7 coming up.
So there is some adversity for Vito Mielnicki, and it is that cut.
And that's in the eyelid, which is the worst spot to have a cut. It's dangerous to have the cut inside there, not just because of the blood, but because it's closer to the eyeball.
Exactly.
I'm wondering if that cut opened up from that one sneaky overhand right that he caught him in that last round.
Yeah, the replay seemed to indicate that that was the case, and well, it actually was back in round 4, I believe, where he was first bleeding. And it's now round 7. So there's a combination from Cruz, leads with the right, goes downstairs with the left, but then Mielnicki comes back and goes to the body twice. Mielnicki tracking Cruz, is using lateral movement, trying to buy some time to breathe, because he's feeling the power now of Mielnicki, Keith Thurman.
Yeah, and Mielnicki's just cutting the corner off, and look at how he's going to the body, just digging more and more to the body. You know, I think he's starting to see a little wear and tear. That high guard, you know, he wants to play a new story. Before I go back up top, let me just hit him low, see if I can break him down, make him forget about those overhand rights, forget about them left hooks, and then sneak in the action.
Yeah, and it looks to me like Mielnicki's really looking to get a knockout here. He's looking to take Cruz out. I think the less time he spends in the ring with that cut, the better it is for Mielnicki. I think he wants to get him out as soon as he can.
We told you that Mielnicki's body work is way above the CompuBox average, and he's really starting to dig to the body now. 1:15 left in the 7th, and long-time official Larry Hazard's unofficial score, he has Mielnicki well ahead.
Taking some shots on the inside. He has some risk factor there. The referee just warned about their heads coming together. And you know, Joe, you got to be careful. You're already cut. You're working the inside, you're working the body, but definitely watch out for the headbutts.
Yeah,
nice lead left hook by Mielnicki. Follows up with a jab, another jab.
And Cruz had landed a couple short shots on the inside just to, you know, not leave that behind. He's scoring as well, too. And he's looking to open that cut up as much as he can.
Mielnicki with that knockout streak at stake. Cruz has tasted his power, tries to stay steadfast in his pursuit of the upset win, but Mielnicki starting to put that smart pressure on Keith, starting to wear Cruz down mentally as well as physically.
Yes, but you know, this is the exact kind of fight that you want to see for him at this stage of his career. Is he dominating? Yes, he's dominating, but his opponent is still there, still challenging him, still reminding him and hitting him with a few overhand rights, little left uppercuts. And it's just the exact perfect little challenge that Mielnicki needs here now.
Cinco de Mayo weekend, and that means a Canelo show. Canelo with his 7th headlining fight on Cinco de Mayo weekend as he takes on compatriot Jaime Munguia. Munguia, the youngster who is looking to record a legacy, solidifying upset to become the undisputed super middleweight champion. The first time Alvarez has met a fellow Mexican since the son of the legend, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., where he schooled him back in the day. And of course, coming up, more incredible action. Barrios battles Maidana, Figueroa against Magdaleno, and a fight fight I'm really looking forward to kick things off. Montes Stanionis and Gabriel Maestre renew their amateur rivalry. Both are undefeated. Stanionis has been out of action for 2 years, and he is champing at the bit to remind everyone that he is intent on becoming Lithuania's first world champion. In this fight, we have Ronald Cruz from North Hollywood, California, and Vito Mielnicki from Roseland, New Jersey. And it's round number 8, and adjustments need to be made for Ronald Cruz if he needs to find a way to get back into this fight, because Mielnicki is starting to run away with it.
Yeah, Mielnicki's been dominating in this fight. There's no doubt about it. But Cruz, again, and we talked about it earlier, Cruz is the type of guy, he's not easy to get out of there. He's very slick, and he's a veteran, and he knows what he's doing in there. So he's going to at least try to last the 10 rounds at worst. At best, he's going to try to do something to hurt Mielnicki, if he can.
Mielnicki along the ropes, doesn't want to stay there too long, comes out, front foot with the jab, and maybe trying to set a trap, Keith, or is it the pressure of Cruz that's putting Mielnicki on the ropes?
It's definitely the pressure. You know, Cruz knows he's behind right now, and he wants to try to make sure that his presence is felt, and he's just like doing the veteran move. Put the pressure on and see if he can break him. But I like the conditioning of Vito. I like that he's just still working the body, throwing punches from different angles, 2 body shots, 1 left uppercut on the inside.
Short right uppercut misses, but a compact left hook lands for Cruz, and another uppercut hits the guard of Mielnicki, but Mielnicki continues to work the left hooks to the body. A new wrinkle to his game, Mr. Goosen.
Yeah, it's a wrinkle that I was teaching, not to take any credit for him where it is right now. But that was kind of new to him, working 3 left hands, top, bottom, up the middle, stuff like that. It's stuff that I teach in the gym, and you can see that along with
what I can see is that he doesn't feel threatened, right? So this is a perfect opportunity to work on those tactics, right?
Yeah, and I'm sure he's
a different tale of the tape here, guys.
If you're not going to get hurt,
yes.
if you're not scared, you know, and you feel that comfortable, why not get on the inside, get that experience today, so that it's familiar to you by tomorrow,
and you feel more comfortable with it as you go along, right?
And as the competition gets stiffer and stiffer.
That's right.
Nice body shot by Mielnicki, but then he ate a right uppercut, popped his head back like that Pez dispenser I talked about last show there, Mr. Goosen. So Cruz now showing his medal.
Look at that breath he got from putting the tape on. We know you get that extra little breather, and you see the combinations. Another great overhand right there by Cruz.
Final minute of the 8th, and Cruz with a sign of life here after that unofficial timeout.
And Cruz has landed a couple of good, solid right hands as we were, just the last 10 seconds of a little looping right hand, right uppercut. So he's shooting for that cut, too. Don't kid yourself.
Hey, that's a veteran move.
Yeah.
I mean, you're behind in the scorecards. You got to do something.
Another beautiful lead left hook, that whipping left hook upstairs by Vito Mielnicki Jr. 30 seconds left in the 8th. Counter right hand by Mielnicki lands. Cruz trying to muck it up on the inside. Nice
short left uppercut.
Yeah, and a right uppercut on the inside by Cruz. Mielnicki looking to keep him at range with the stick. Now backing Cruz up to the ropes. 10 seconds left in the round. Mielnicki now coming on. Oh, good counter left hook, partially blocked by Mielnicki.
Great exchanges right now to close out the round.
Still to come here on the PBC Prelims on Prime, the return of Jesus Ramos Jr. Yes, there's now a 1 in the loss column, but a highly controversial decision loss to Erickson Lubin in his last fight. Ramos says he's going to be even more aggressive, but still maintain that boxing ability, maintain that jab that you see him using as he's warming up against Johan Gonzalez. Look at his record, 34-2 with 33 knockouts, but the majority of those KOs, low-level opposition, and he went the distance in his last fight. A tough affair at the office, and Johan Gonzalez, he's going to be in tough tonight because Jesus Ramos, he's a top 10 ranked 154-pounder, according to Ring Magazine.
Let's go, baby. Hey, go make it happen. Go make it happen.
T-Mobile Arena, the site of so many memorable fight nights, and it will be the site tonight of the biggest Cinco de Mayo party of the weekend. Can you imagine the convivial atmosphere, the fiesta of fists coming up tonight on pay-per-view, especially when Canelo collides with Munguia in the main event?
I know on the scorecards that this is still a shutout, but I was impressed with Cruz last round. You know, I would almost want to give it to him.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
But you know who didn't agree with you? Larry Hazard, our unofficial scorekeeper. He gave it to Mielnicki.
That's understandable. I mean, look, Mielnicki looks good in the ring right now. And
You're just happy you don't have to do the unofficial scoring tonight, Mr. G.
And listen, Larry Hazard's one of the great, you know, commissioners and fight men of all time. So if he overrules me, that's just fine.
There's that overhand right by Cruz, and I hear a little bit more thud. You can tell that he just wants to dig in this last the last few minutes, the final few rounds of this fight.
I said earlier that Mielnicki had only been the 10-round distance once, and that came in 2022, a win over Limburg Ponce. Cruz has been there twice. He's 1-1. Another nice right uppercut on the inside by Cruz. So Cruz is starting to give Mielnicki a test.
Yeah, they're banging heads pretty closely in there too, but that was a nice left hook.
And Robert warns him about that.
Yeah.
Referee.
A little bit of pushing, a little bit of wrestling, roughing him up here at the end of the fight. But I like the tactic by Cruz.
Yeah,
exactly.
the uppercuts on the inside, but Mielnicki trying to create some space. Oh, nice right uppercut on the inside as Mielnicki leans in. So good action here in the 9th round. Just over a minute left in the penultimate round to kick off this edition of the PBC Prelims on Prime.
Now, I know being in the corner, and if I had Mielnicki, I'd be pushing for a knockout. What do you think, Keith? Would you be doing the same?
He wants to keep that streak
It's a
going.
shutout. At this point, you know, I would just advise, you know, that you're in there with a veteran. Watch out for those tricky tactics. Continue to use those combinations. And, you know, if it comes, it comes. See, he's opening up. So if he wants to sit there and trade, but that's a risk. He's already winning the fight. So I'm not sure if I'd be giving the same advice.
I get it, but Mielnicki's not retreating. He's still looking for a fight.
Depending on the faith I have, see, I don't know Mielnicki the way that you know Mielnicki.
Oh, nice right
If he can give more, if he can dig more, then do it. Do it now.
Heading into the 10th and final round, it will be the 88th professional round for Mielnicki, the 129th round for Cruz. More experience, but hey, this 10th round could be a doozy if they maintain this pace. Coming up later tonight, of course, the return of the undisputed super middleweight champion, Canelo Álvarez, whose stardom has transcended the sport. He is living La Vida Dolce, and he is admired by millions of fans around the world, especially in his native Mexico. He is the king. The boxing ring is his court. And yet, he and his former promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, well, they've got more beef than a butcher shop. It isn't only the rappers who are beefing these days, but it won't be De La Hoya in the ring tonight. It'll be his undefeated charge, Jaime Munguía. Canelo versus Munguia, the main event, Cinco de Mayo weekend, PBC Pay-Per-View.
Here we go. Everything, man. Everything. Thank you.
10th and final round, and the crowd enjoying the action to kick off this preliminary portion of our pay-per-view. And Cruz is, well, he's no longer in cruise control. He is opening up here to begin the 10th, as the veteran should. He knows there's a sense of urgency here, Keith.
Not only that, he's just giving you what you asked for. You know, you said you want to see the press and you want to see the action. And this just is proof, you know, no matter what is going to happen to Vito, he just needs to know that the fight's not over till it's over. And that's what the veteran is showing him here and now. This is terrific experience for Vito. He's had a tremendous performance. And even though Cruz looks like he's falling short tonight, I still like what he brought to the table.
Absolutely, and you know, he came out looking for the knockout because he's not going to win the fight by decision. So Cruz came out slugging, but here's the thing: Mielnicki's not sitting on his 9-round lead. You know, he could do that very easily.
Cruz hasn't recorded a knockout past the 7th round. He's got 12 KOs out of his 19 wins. For Mielnicki, of course, 12 of his 17 wins, including his last 4, have come inside the distance. But again, it's all about learning. 21 years of age here tonight in his 19th professional fight. Just became an adult, looking to, you know, get into that man strength category. But this is what we've talked about, guys. This is necessary for a young fighter to go through 10 tough rounds, to show that he can answer questions, make adjustments.
And Mielnicki just landed a sharp left hook that stunned Cruz, and he's still looking for the knockout, like right there. Nice right uppercut, left hook. He doesn't want to win by decision. He wants to win by knockout. And Cruz probably won't let him.
It was a terrific 10th round right here.
Toe-to-toe, Cruz chopping right hands. Under a minute left here in the fight. Another right uppercut on the inside lands for Cruz. Mielnicki leaning into him, both of them trying to bully each other on the inside. Left hook to the body by Mielnicki. Now Cruz, the veteran, again. Leaning that shoulder, and there's that lead left hook that rips across the head of Cruz. Nice body shot by Mielnicki. And that right uppercut on the inside lands again for Cruz. He goes back to the well. 1-2 through the guard.
Oh, Vito saying, bring it. Vito saying, let's go. Stand here, let's go.
Standing his ground. 15 seconds left. Mielnicki's knockout streak may be at stake, but he is looking for his 10th consecutive win as he goes 10 full rounds for just the 2nd time in his career. Cruz goes 10 rounds for the 3rd time, and these are the tests you expect a youngster with so much potential like Vito Mielnicki to pass. And it, from my somewhat uneducated eye, Mr. Goosen, I think Mielnicki did enough.
Yes, and don't underestimate yourself.
I'm Canadian. We do it all the time.
We talk a lot of boxing off air, and you're very well versed. But you got this right. Mielnicki, it was a great fight for him. It was a good test for him. He went 10 rounds. It's always good sometimes to go 10 rounds. Unfortunately, he got cut in this fight, and that's going to set him back a few months in the healing process.
All right, let's go back to the action, and Keith and Joe, you guys take us through. We'll begin with what went down in the 3rd round, including Cruz going down for the 2nd time in his career based on that combination, culminating with a left hook.
We saw that knockout, that right uppercut, but here's the round that he got cut in, and here's that little chopping right hand.
Second knockdown of the fight. That left hook.
Beautiful right hands over the low jab of Cruz. Mielnicki did a lot of really nice professional stuff tonight. I think he's going to really...
He did. He grew tonight. If you ask me, he literally grew tonight, right before our eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, aside from the cut, this would have been a great fight for him. He never really got hurt. He dominated the fight. He landed power punches. He boxed when he had to. And it was just a great performance by him against a very slick, determined, in-shape Ronald Cruz.
Definitely, like you were saying, we saw inside, outside. We saw patience, uppercuts, combinations. I mean, it's pretty much most likely everything that his trainer's been working on with him, and it's all putting it all together, all the pieces of the puzzle.
All right, let's get the official decision from Miguel Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Chris Migliori sees it 99-89. Judge David Sutherland sees it 98-90. And Judge Don Trella sees it 96-92. All 3 judges in agreement for your winner by unanimous decision. White Magic, Vito Mielnicki Jr.
The knockout more. The good news, the winning streak is now at 10 for 21-year-old Vito Mielnicki Jr., who is going to speak to the man who, well, always speaks to goats, Jim Gray.
All right, Mauro, thank you very much. Vito, congratulations. How would you assess your performance?
Great learning experience. I'm coming off 4 straight knockouts, early knockouts too. So a guy like Ronald Cruz is what's going to make me great, what's going to make me better. Gonna obviously heal up this cut, go back to the gym, keep working. I'm still young, I'm still 21. But first and foremost, I want to give praise to God. Without him, none of this is possible. I want to thank him and PBC for another great opportunity. My family sacrificing a lot since I'm 7 years old for to be in arenas like this and opportunities like this. So I'm beyond blessed, beyond grateful, and we're going to keep moving forward, keep growing.
You said it was a learning experience. Yeah. What'd you learn?
Just everything. First time, obviously, getting cut. This is not my first time going 10 rounds, but just a great experience with a guy who is going to come. He's going to come to fight. And I need those rounds. I need those rounds coming off early knockouts, early victories. This is good for me.
Did the cut bother you?
No, not at all. I said in the corner, I said I used to dream of things like this. You know, things when I'm getting cut, gonna have to fight through adversity. I was actually getting a little hyped up, a little pumped, but I got to stick to my game plan, stick to what we do in the gym. But like I said, I'm still young, still growing. I'm just grateful to be here, grateful for this opportunity.
Vito, congratulations. 21 years old, huge future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mauro, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. And a big win for Vito Mielnicki, who dedicated tonight's fight to his paternal grandfather, William, who right before he went into training camp, passed away. And Vito told us that his grandfather would be the guy to drive him to the gym every day growing up from when he was 7 until he was 15. He said he would not be here without his grandfather. He talked to him every day throughout training camp. Even when he was playing youth football, his granddad never missed a practice, didn't miss a game. He dedicates this fight tonight to his best friend, his grandfather, William. And William would have been proud of his grandson's performance tonight, as Vito Mielnicki drops the veteran Ronald Cruz twice with the left hook, overcomes the adversity of the cut on the right eyelid, and the 21-year-old White Magic Mielnicki improves to 18-1. Speaking of numero uno, let's go to my main man, Brian Custer.
All right, Mo, thank you. Yeah, I think Grandpa would certainly been proud of what Vito did here tonight. Hey, Las Vegas, Nevada, home to some of the biggest fights every year. And Canelo Álvarez, Cinco de Mayo arrival, something special. You know, boxing fans really from all over the world have arrived here to the fights capital of the world, especially vibrant Mexican fan base here to see these guys go at it. And the stakes couldn't be higher. Neither could the tension. They boiled over at Wednesday's press conference between these two, Oscar De La Hoya, his former promoter, and Canelo Álvarez. Then you had to weigh in. Saw Canelo, Jaime Munguía, showing each other respect there as they stepped on the scales. And listen, the bad blood remains, though, between Canelo and De La Hoya, which boiled over at Wednesday's press conference.
But that doesn't change the fact that Golden Boy built Canelo Álvarez, period. The company you fought under for decades has always had one name, and it's mine. So put some respect on it. Though Jaime wasn't allowed to fulfill his dream, 2018, on Saturday night, he will do just that, fulfill his dream and be world champion.
Tienen que escribirle lo que tiene que decir este. Tú lo escribes, ¿qué lo escribes? Tú no escribes nada, no haces nada, tú no haces nada.
Yo lo escribí.
Eres un eso es lo que eres.
Eres un baboso.
Eres porque estás nomás ahí, los que hacen todos son los que están detrás de ti. Tú eres un
that maybe Oscar trying to take some pressure off of Jaime Munguía, getting to Canelo's head all week long. But Canelo's a guy who could fight a man on the street, still sell out this place. But he's facing a young man in his prime tonight who has sent all 43 of his opponents home in defeat, stopped 34 of them along the way. It should be a firefight experience, taking on youth and strength. You know, it has been 7 years since Canelo Álvarez went up against one of his fellow Mexicans, and tonight he picked the toughest one in all of Tijuana. Canelo, listen, he's still the face of the sport globally, but if his best days are behind him, like some may think, Jaime Munguía is someone more than capable of exposing that. But Canelo has been on this big stage for, listen, more than a decade, longer than Munguía has even been a pro. Of course, you can see it on PBC Pay-Per-View. Here's a look at the entire fight card. Canelo, Jaime Munguia, that is the main event. And then you've got Mario Barrios, Fabian Maidana against Mario Barrios, former world champion Maidana, the younger brother of former welterweight champion Marcos Maidana. Brandon Figueroa, another former world champion, taking on Jesse Magdaleno. Magdaleno, by the way, came in 3 pounds over for that fight. And then we'll start the pay-per-view fight card off with Imanes Steniones. He's been away from the ring for 2 years, but he's going to be taking on the unbeaten Gabriel Maestre. These two fought each other in the amateurs, and it was Steniones who came away with a dental floss thin victory in that fight. Maestre wanting his get back tonight. Joining me now ringside, a couple of my colleagues, Joe Goosen, Keith Thurman, who of course you heard calling that first fight. They're certainly assessed and used to a big experience like this one. Keith, let me start with you because you're a guy who can put yourself in the shoes of Jaime Munguia. You fought a living legend in Manny Pacquiao. Tonight, Munguia taking on the king of the sport and Canelo Álvarez, someone he certainly looked up to. Now this guy is going to be across the ring for him. How does he make sure that this moment won't be too big?
This moment is big. It has to be big. And you want it to be big. This is what we train for. This is what we live for. This is what we dream for. When I fought Manny Pacquiao, he brought a whole nation to cheer for him against me. But these guys, they share a nation. So that's going to be a little bit more in Munguia's corner here in Las Vegas live. He has some energy, some support backing him tonight.
Joe, you know, it's been, look, I think 2.5 years since Canelo has really stopped an opponent, the longest stretch of his career. What do you believe this fight will tell us about Canelo Álvarez tonight?
Well, it's going to tell us a lot, obviously. It's going to tell us where he's at in his career, if it's the end of the road or if he's going to continue on. Munguia is going to give him a big test tonight. But I think Canelo's up to the challenge. He's one of the greatest that ever fought. He's experienced, he's explosive. And he's really smart in the ring, and he will capitalize on any mistakes that Munguia will make tonight. That's for sure.
Hey, Joe, I know you just saw what Oscar did, and you know, all week he's been kind of ribbing Canelo, you know, talking about, you know, their days together. It seems as if he was maybe trying to take some pressure off of Jaime Munguia, make it more about him than Jaime Munguia. Do you think that will have any effect, or is Canelo one of those guys who's just too experienced?
No, listen, Canelo's seen it all. He's done it all. You know, that may irritate him a little bit at the moment, but once he gets in the ring, he's going to be zeroed in on Munguia. He's going to be concentrated on Munguia. He's going to be thinking about the fight and the fight only. De La Hoya is going to be an afterthought or a before thought. I don't think it'll play any part in this game.
Keith, stylistically, how does Jaime Munguia win this fight?
You know, what I love of the highlights that I saw out of Munguia is his combination punching. You know, working that left hook to the body, the left hook up top. But he's in there with a true veteran. He's going to need to throw those combinations, but set him up with the jab, be a little poised, make himself a little tricky if that means using the feint. And the most important thing is while he's doing those combinations, he's got to escape and not get caught clean by one of those crafty counters from Canelo Álvarez. And with that, he will be able to win rounds and potentially win the fight tonight.
Okay, then Joe, how does Canelo win this fight?
Well, I think how Canelo always wins the fight. He's the smarter fighter in the ring 99% of the time. Munguia is 43-0, but he has made some mistakes defensively, and I think that's why he went to Freddie to clean those up. He's going to have to clean those up because Canelo will take advantage of any opening you give him. Munguia is a very hard puncher, but he tends, when he punches to the body, he'll pull that right hand away from his chin. He's open for the hook there, and a few other defensive mistakes. If he cleans those up, he could have a good night. But you know, Canelo will obviously always capitalize on any mistakes you make, and he's a solid puncher.
Yeah, you're right. Great insight from both of you guys. Looking forward to what should be a really all-action night on PBC Pay-Per-View. Well, let's talk about Canelo Álvarez because he's facing yet another unbeaten opponent, and he has faced quite a few of them on his way to securing the undisputed super middleweight title. You might remember it all happened back in December of 2020 when Canelo conquered the undefeated Brit Callum Smith. That was at the Alamo Dome. He picked up the WBC and WBA titles there when he beat up on Callum Smith. Canelo won a unanimous decision, and then it was on to the next. AT&T Stadium, May 2021, Jerry's World. Remember that when he beat the unbeaten Billy Joe Saunders? Canelo, boy, I mean, he broke his eye socket in that fight. Just a dominating performance, earned him a TKO in round 8. And then it was the IBF champion, Caleb Plant, next. 21-0 at the time. MGM Grand, just down the street from us. Plant had his moments early on, but then Canelo ultimately wore him down, stopped him in round 11. And of course, we are lucky enough to be boxing fans at a time of Canelo Álvarez, arguably the greatest Mexican to ever lace up a pair of gloves, somehow only just 33, having fought for more than half of his life. He started fighting at 15. His opponent, Jaime Munguía, well, he's had dreams of this moment as well his entire career. 6 years ago, he was fighting on Canelo undercards, and tonight he faces the Mexican legend. Here are more reasons on why you should buy this pay-per-view.
There's a rare collective of sporting events that seem to make the world stop. For an instant, our attention is undivided and our differences seem unimportant. Nothing else matters. And every once in a while, in Mexico and America, the world stops for Canelo Álvarez. Now he finds himself in the most consequential fight of his career. A win catapults him further into untouchable greatness. Another necessary step towards anointment as Mexico's boxing king. A loss launches his entire future into the air. There's no middle ground. He's reached the crossroads. It's a fight of magnitude and scale, of prize and pride, never touched by a country filthy rich in boxing legacy. It's been over 50 years since the last all-Mexican undisputed title fight happened. Chavez, Marquez, Morales, Barrera. None of these Hall of Fame names ever fought for an undisputed title before. Simply put, it's the highest stakes Mexican fight ever. And now, it's personal. All happening on Cinco de Mayo weekend, now a boxing tradition and its biggest annual party, preceded by the kinetic anticipation of Fight Week in the Mecca of boxing. It's spectacle and fanfare, gamemanship and boiling points. It's Vegas, baby. It's pure lightning. Mexican fans electrify America's wildest city as everyone else back home glues to the TV, all to cheer on their hero. But who that is may not be as clear-cut as it once was. Regardless, it's two of Mexico's prodigal sons, each rooted in humble beginnings, who crossed into the land of opportunity and reached the peak of the sport. All with the wind of country and family at their back, it's the Mexican and American dreams rolled into one, reincarnated over a 20 by 20 sheet of canvas. So tomorrow, the world will spin again, but tonight the world watches, while Mexico sits on top. It's Canelo Álvarez versus Jaime Munguía in the greatest Mexican fight ever made.
That's the main event on PBC Pay-Per-View. We got another fight here on PBC on Prime. Jesus Ramos coming off the first loss of his career. That was last September in a fight he told me he could have thrown more against Erickson Lubin, a bit more aggressive, but he wanted to show off his boxing skills. Well, tonight, says he's going back to his aggressive self, facing another power puncher in Johan Gonzalez. Ramos, he's got all the tools really to be a world champion, and his road back to the top begins right now. Ringside we go. My main man, Mauro Ranallo, with the call.
Thank you very much, Brian, as we go to the tail of the tape, and physically similar. 72-inch reach for Ramos, 72.5-inch reach for Gonzalez. Both are known for their power, but Ramos, last time he took an L, tonight he's looking to bounce back, while Gonzalez, he has won 3 in a row since a narrow 10-round majority decision loss to Magomed Kurbanov in December of 22. Ramos is ranked number 6 in the ring rankings at 154 pounds. And just 23 years of age. The sky is indeed the limit. And again, as Brian mentioned, he wants to get more aggressive tonight, but many of us, including the unofficial score at the time, Steve Farr, had him beating former world title challenger Erickson Lubin. But Ramos, very mature for a 23-year-old, knows it's back to the office and back to make a mark here tonight. And speaking of tonight, let's go back inside the ring and let's get those official introductions from the dapper, Miguel Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Canelo Promotions presents our PBC prelims on Prime Video. It is all brought to you by Canelo Promotions, TGB Promotions in association with Golden Boy Promotions and Zanfer Boxing Promotions. Sponsored by Corona Premier, the exceptional light beer. It's fight night, light it up. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga only, in theaters May 24th. VMC Tequila Cocktails, el origen ante todo. Value Casa de Bolsa. El Mexicano brand products, bringing authentic sabor to your table. Somos El Mexicano. And O'Reilly Auto Parts, professional parts people. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. And now our 3 judges ringside are Max DeLuca, Glenn Feldman, and David Hudson. The referee in charge of the action is Harvey Dock. And now this bout will be 10 rounds in the super welterweight division. Introducing first in the red corner, wearing the black trunks with green trim, he weighed in at 153.5 pounds with the record of 34 victories, 33 coming by KO, and just 2 defeats. Representing Guille Valencia, Venezuela, here is knockout artist Johan, the Cello Manotas Gonzalez. And now introducing his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the maroon with the white and gold trim. He weighed in at 154.5 pounds. With the record standing 20 victories, 16 by knockout, and just 1 defeat. Proudly representing Casa Grande, Arizona, he is a top world ranked super welterweight contender, Jesus El Mono Ramos.
Okay, boxers, you received your instructions earlier. As a reminder, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Obedéceme todo el tiempo. Toca los guantes. Good luck. Buena suerte.
Referee Harvey Dock, third man in the ring for this super welterweight encounter, scheduled for 10 rounds. The bell and round number 1, both Ramos and Gonzalez love to work the body. And of course, Cinco de Mayo weekend is all about body shots, whether it's the physical variety or, if you choose, the alcoholic kind, as we get things started here. And that's something we can look forward to in this fight. And all night, Keith, is the investment to the body, looking to pay those dividends later in the fight.
Oh, yes, it's a classic move, just getting to the body early. You know, and when you're fighting a puncher, sometimes it's hard, though. Sometimes these guys under this bright lights, they just want to get the knockout. They end up headshotting. So it just depends on the game plan, the format, and what their team has told them, and their discipline to, like you said, grab it, snatch it, put it in the bank early on, like that punch right there, down to the body. and see if you can break him down. Prepare for a tough, long fight.
And Gonzalez, as we mentioned, fighting under the bright lights of the fight capital of the world for the first time, and he is in tough against Jesus Ramos, who, again, top 10 at 154 pounds, and there's the early body work from Gonzalez. But Ramos, more eye-catching with his shots. Even though they're relatively the same size in terms of height, you see Ramos and you see the size, Joe, and you see the power invested in him.
Yeah, Ramos has got those broad shoulders, number one. He's only an inch taller than Gonzalez, but they're both big punchers, no doubt. But watching the tapes, I saw more vulnerability defensively against Gonzalez than I did Ramos.
And with all due respect to Johan Gonzalez, yes, 33 of his 34 wins have come via knockout, Keith, but 19 of his opponents, including 4 were making their pro debuts, they had non-winning records. So, again, you look at the record, it's gaudy, nice numbers, but we'll see just how powerful he is against a guy like Jesus Ramos tonight. A minute left in the opening round, and definitely no feeling out process between these two.
You know, I'll tell you my personal opinion, though. I don't care who they fought. At the end of the day, if they got a KO ratio that's above 50%, then you need to be on guard. We have 2 punchers in here. They're both putting up the effort in the first round, touching each other and telling each other, you know, I'm here to fight. I like Gonzalez, you know, his work rate in the first round. I like what I'm seeing.
Already Ramos has landed 11 body shots compared to 5 for Gonzalez.
And Gonzalez actually acknowledged a good shot that Ramos hit him with early in the first part of this round. So, you know, Ramos has got a very strong body attack, and he said he's going to bring it tonight. And it looks like he is. It looks like he's going to put the press on Gonzalez, which he's doing right now.
And yet Gonzalez not gun shy, firing in return, but the better shots come courtesy of Ramos. Ramos trained by his father, Jesus Sr.
¿Cómo siente la pegada? Mucho, no mucho, pero está pesadito. Pues hay que tener cuidado nomás. Lo pueden llegar con el jab, para atrás. Okay, inteligente nomás. Que vaya dando pasitos para atrás, lo que no le gusta nomás. Es que vaya para atrás, con el jab.
Step back, working with the jab, all right?
Buena.
Very good, very good.
Try to get a liver shot in there. You're getting the spin shots in there real good. Get that liver shot, okay? El ángulo y la
And your angles, remember your angles into the body, yeah?
Happy to have Jerry Olea joining us as the Spanish translator tonight, letting us know what was going on in the Ramos corner. Meanwhile, Gonzalez out of Venezuela, living here now in Las Vegas and fighting for the first time in Sin City, looks for his 4th consecutive win. He's fighting his 2nd southpaw in his last 4 bouts. He scored a first-round knockout win over Jean Carlos Prada in March of last year, so has had a look at a lefty recently.
Yeah, Gonzalez came out right at the beginning of this round and adjusted. He starts moving to the right against the southpaw, which is highly unusual, and landed 2-3 good body shots now. He's going to the midsection of Ramos and being successful at it.
When we talked to Ramos, Keith, he told us that in doing his homework with Gonzalez, he says, yeah, he's got a good right hand, but he lacks defensively, and he's going to try to exploit those holes in Gonzalez's defense.
And that's what I said. If you looked at the tapes of Gonzalez, he did, but he looks a lot tighter tonight.
He does look a lot tighter tonight. You know, for the first time being in these bright lights. That caught him, and he's backing up.
Yeah,
he's showing that Ramos just hurt him.
So Ramos has Gonzalez hurt here in round number 2. Gonzalez has been stopped twice, or lost twice, I should say, pardon me.
Still sneaking in some body shots.
Yeah, it looked like he recovered quickly, but he got hit with a good left hand and a good right hook. But he's coming back. He looks like he didn't get rocked too badly.
I see the recovery, but he does need to be careful in there. He's in there with a live dog, Ramos. Good straight left there. Nice. 12 men dig into the body.
Oh, yeah, you can hear those thudding shots.
And see, here's the thing with the southpaw, Those strong hand is their left hand, and that the liver sits right in front of there like that right there. And getting hit in the liver is a lot worse than getting hit on the other side by a right hook. That left uppercut to the body is really damaging against a right-hander when it's delivered by a southpaw. Right there, see?
Nice lead right hook curling behind the guard of Gonzalez by Ramos.
Gonzalez respecting the power, keeping his hands up, but you can hear the thud off those punches.
Gonzalez coming off the first distance win in his career. Actually threw 67 punches per round in his last bout last November against Vito Emmanuel Schramm. A little more music here against the Jesus Ramos, who connects again with the hook. Now the 1-2 from southpaw. Nice angle. See the shift by Ramos to create a better advantage going to the body. And Ramos doing a good job at the end of the round.
Very nice angles that we just pointed out there. Slight nuance.
Well, here's that counter. Look, see, Gonzalez threw the right hand of the body. He got countered with the left hand over the top. He got buckled. He goes back to the ropes.
Lo fundamental es, mira,
the fundamental is this. I want your right hand up, get it in. What's wrong? That you're very long with your left hand, all right?
Pero tiene que tener continuidad.
But you've got to be continuity in your movement, all right? When you see that he catches you, you got to throw back.
¿Entiendes?
You understand?
Y no te me quedes en la cuerda,
and don't just stay against the ropes, all right, son?
Estamos bien.
All right, we're doing good.
Entonces,
we're doing good. Let's go. Get your hands up.
Toma aire, límpiate los guantes conmigo.
Clean your gloves up on my body.
Great words of advice from the veteran Ismael Salas, Joe,
Yes.
who always knows what to say to his fighter.
He does, and very motivational, and he has a positive attitude, which goes a long way in the corner.
This is round number 3, and it's Gonzalez with a combination to the body, trying to extend the jab while Ramos looking to come over top, but an aggressive start here by Gonzalez, Keith.
Very aggressive, going upstairs, going downstairs, showing that he came for a reason. He came for a fight. You might have rocked me, but you're not going to stop me. That's what Gonzalez is saying with this action right here.
He's never
right
been
now.
stopped. The 2 losses were actually very close, a majority decision and a split decision early in his career, but is looking to slow down Ramos' attack. Beautiful combination by Ramos. You saw him swim in with the right uppercut and then immediately went upstairs with the right hook, Joe.
Ramos seems to be the stronger puncher to me. He's the more effective puncher, and I think Gonzalez feels Ramos's punches more than vice versa.
And beautiful. It's at actually Canelo Álvarez, Mike Tyson, the right hand to the body, right uppercut.
Yeah, and look, I think Ramos should just keep the pressure up. I don't think he should waste much time because he's got a really good defense, and Gonzalez is not breaking his defense right now. Like right there, a nice counter. I think he should just hold his ground and keep pressing like that, and he could probably take Gonzalez out.
Another sharp left hand, Keith.
Definitely. You know, Gonzalez is doing his best to keep his hands up, but like you said, Joe, you got to keep the pressure up because when you look back at the tapes, we didn't see a perfect defense. So that means that he doesn't have the experience of holding his hands up for 10 long rounds.
Beautiful left hand to the body, and you talk about the nuance, Keith, and we've mentioned it. The combinations which are coming off angles by Ramos are really starting to cause problems just like there for Gonzalez.
I like it a lot. Like you said, he studied tape, you know. I do the same thing. You get more confidence. You feel like you know the fighter already, and you can get well mentally prepared. And once they start making those same mistakes right in front of you that you witnessed on tape, then it just solidifies your confidence, and you can stick to the game plan that you set forth in training camp.
Ramos, Joe, bouncing on the balls of his feet, able to explode more. Something we can look for Jaime Munguia to try to do as well in the main event. He's very good with his legs and using his legs to activate his offense. Same here with Jesus Ramos, who continues to go to the right. That angle combination continues to score.
Angles, hands down, combinations, pivoting, rotating, continuing to throw. I like what I'm seeing from Ramos today.
Very much so. And look, I like the angles and everything, but sometimes I think he should just set right into it, and go right at him. And because his defense is so good, I think he can probably do a little bit more damage.
With those angles and the combination. Vasily Lomachenko loved to do the same thing. Very good.
Yeah, no, it's working for him, and he's peppering with them. But the power shots are going to come when he's setting up in front of him.
All right, still to come on the pay-per-view, and boy, what a start. Here's Gabriel Maestre, two-time Venezuelan Olympian, only 6-0 with 5 knockouts. He does have an opportunity here to avenge the loss in the 2015 World Championships against his opponent tonight, Imantas Stanionis. Yeah, that's Imantas Stanionis. Remember him? It's only been 2 years. He was supposed to face Virgil Ortiz on 3 different occasions. He had an emergency appendectomy. Virgil Ortiz had health issues the other 2 times, but he is back and he's looking to remind everyone of just why he is considered a player in the welterweight division. Las Vegas. It is a beautiful spring day as we are putting the May in Mayhem PBC prelims on Prime, and this is round number 4. And it's Gonzalez again coming forward, trying to disrupt the rhythm, the game plan, the strategy of Jesus Ramos. Nice counter left to the body by Ramos.
Ramos holding his ground at the start of this round. He's tried to catch it with a check right hook.
And not to put words in your mouth, Joe, but you alluded to in the last round the fact that you would like to start to see Ramos now here in round 4 after 3 rounds of collecting data to start sitting down more on his punches, because we know he's got the power.
Right, and challenging Gonzalez more. Look, he's got a really good defense, by the way, Ramos does. He's made Gonzalez in a few of the early flurries just miss. And he's off balance and fell. But yeah, I would like to see Ramos really sit down and start digging some shots and challenging Gonzalez to a fight.
Well, according to our unofficial score, Larry Hazard, he has Ramos winning every round. And if you look at the CompuBox stats, they don't always tell the whole story, but they do indeed burnish that unofficial scorecard from Larry Hazard. But here's Gonzalez again, standing in front of Ramos, and they are now looking to attack each other upstairs, downstairs.
And Ramos is standing in front of Gonzalez as well. He may not respect Gonzalez's punches or power as his record shows, because he's not being affected by it at all. He's not getting hit clean by Gonzalez.
From here, I can hear the difference in the punches.
Yeah.
Ramos is definitely the one who is digging.
Nice combination there by Ramos. Curled the right hook behind the guard, then split the guard with the straight left hand. The southpaw continues to go to work. Gonzalez, though, trying to find a way to build some momentum. They have thrown around the same number of punches, and yet Ramos has connected at a much higher rate.
And you see Ramos is slipping those punches rather easy. He's really calm on the inside. He squats down low like that. For a tall guy, he gets down really low, and he's got a very slick defense.
Yes, I noticed how he bends his knees on the inside, just like that right there, going to the body, going back up to the head.
Yeah.
And you know, we saw Gabriel Maestre warming up for his fight against Imantas Stanionis to kick off the pay-per-view in the welterweight division. Gonzalez actually lost to Gabriel Maestre at the international level, so some connective tissue.
And this replay, nice combination, but the slip at the end. He had some momentum. Makes you wonder what was coming next.
Well, Ramos went over there to help him up, lend him a hand. Did you see that?
It's like the NBA game the other night. You're not supposed to help out an opponent, especially during the playoffs. It actually started a kerfuffle.
These two guys are just giving us some great action, though. Ramos, I believe, he's controlling a lot more. He seems to be the more comfortable fighter in there, landing some of the more power punches. I saw some good left uppercuts to the solar plex. You're talking about that liver shot, but I saw him starting to put it to the solar plex, and I'm wondering if Gonzalez is going to start to fade the way he was on his back foot in those last 10 seconds of that round. And look at the intensity right now.
And Ramos comes out rocking. And on cue, Mr. Thurman, it's Ramos who wants to try to close the show here in the first half of this 10-round fight as he's really going on the attack against Johan Gonzalez. And yet Gonzalez able to counter and slow Ramos down momentarily.
Straight right hands.
But Ramos looks really determined. Like, again, he said he's not going to let that fight slip away from him by slowing down like he did against Lubin. He said you're going to see a different Ramos here, and you are right now. He's determined to really take Gonzalez out here. This round he came out charging like he wanted to end it right here.
Yeah, Ramos, 11 of his knockouts have come within the first 2 rounds. He's never scored a KO beyond round 7, but is definitely putting on the pressure and putting the punches on Gonzalez to begin the 5th round.
Like the subtle head movement, doubling down to the body.
So look, he's got his hands on Ramos. He's got left to liver.
And maybe that's because, like you said, he doesn't respect
He does not, yeah. He wouldn't be doing that if he did.
In close quarters, hands down, definitely a disrespecting tactic. He loaded up a little too much on that punch, but we can see he wants that knockout.
Oh, that left uppercut.
I'll tell you about that solar plex shot.
There's the left hand. Gonzalez, his teeth tough. That chin could take a shot and continues to attack the body as well, but it's a mugging right now.
Yeah, Ramos knows he's found the weak spot on Gonzalez, and he's really abusing him with the body right now. And
Ramos is treating Gonzalez like he has diplomatic immunity to kick off the 5th round under a minute left in the frame.
This is the fight that Ramos wants. Stalking him hands down.
Hands are down, like you said, Keith, but look at the heart, the will of Gonzalez. I mean, he's being muscled and bullied by Ramos, but he's staying in. He's in a tight situation like Speedo's there in the corner. You better be careful.
The subtle head movement, the back step.
The patience, the composure of Ramos.
And constantly digging to the body.
Double right hand by Ramos. Gonzalez tries to fire back. Left hook to the liver. Left hook upstairs by Ramos.
And Ramos switched to a right-handed there off those 2 left hooks, which is something new for him. You don't see that very often.
We'll be seeing a lot more in the pay-per-view when Brandon Figueroa faces Jesse Magdaleno. Brandon Figueroa loves to switch stances, and that should be a fun fight at 126 pounds, but this one's taking place at 154.
Ramos showed tremendous confidence in that last round. That's the opening of that last round. The fire, the intensity. You can see that Gonzalez is trying to tell his corner that he's all right, that he can weather the storm. But I still believe that Ramos is breaking him down with the tactics that he's bringing into the ring tonight. Beautiful straight left hand.
See where it came from? Right that hip. So when we look at the first half of this scheduled 10-rounder and you look at the totals, it's all Jesus, Ramos, Gonzalez yet to go down. But Joe, before we get into the fight itself, talk about an adjustment you would like to see Gonzalez make in this fight to try to stay in the fight.
Well, look, this is the way Gonzalez fights. The only way he's going to stay in this fight is by getting on his horse and really moving around the ring. But that's not going to happen. That's not his nature, and that's not what he does. He fights like this, and he's going to win or lose fighting his style. And right now, he's on the losing end of this battle against Ramos.
What's impressed you the most out of Jesus Ramos in the first 5 rounds, Keith?
Well, I just like his overall pace, his tempo, his commitment to the body, and that right there, even his defense. He started off with his hands up. He realized that he doesn't have to worry about his opponent's power, and so he started doing more hands down, but just that digging to the body, the angles, and just the overall snap that I hear. See, right there again, just keep going.
And we
putting it into the bank.
And we remind everyone he's just 23 years of age. A lot of maturity and composure. And here, opening up now.
He's got him hurt bad.
Opens up with the combination, and Gonzalez on the ropes, literally and figuratively.
Ramos has got another about a minute and a half left to take Gonzalez out this round. I think he's got him really hurt right now. And if he puts another couple combinations together, he can stop him in this round or maybe the next.
And yet we want to, chronicle what we're seeing. And obviously the more powerful thudding shots are coming from Ramos. And just when you think that Gonzalez may be, soon to go down, he's still fighting back. That's the one thing about this Venezuelan fighter at 33 years of age.
He is, but what I see clearly is Ramos keeping the intensity, keeping the same speed, the same power, intense pressure. And to be Gonzalez is starting to fade. You see the way he just threw that jab right there, that straight right hand. He's putting in effort.
And here comes the effort from Gonzalez. But again, 33 knockouts in 34 fights, but you can see the punches are not affecting Ramos whatsoever.
That's what I was talking about. Gonzalez is trying, but when you look at the extension, I believe that he's losing the zeal that he needs. That pop. See, he's a fighter.
Yeah.
He's a warrior.
Ramos is
there was the blood. See, there was the clash of heads that I mentioned earlier, and here's the referee. And he says it's an accidental headbutt. I saw it, we called it, and it was momentarily bothering Ramos, and now he continues to keep that left hand high.
That's why Ramos slowed down, put his back to the ropes here.
Great left hand, jarring Gonzalez, and it's all Ramos. Now he's seen blood, and he's going in for the stoppage. Time running out here in the 6th. Gonzalez valiantly trying to survive the round, but it's all Jesus Ramos, whose only adversity in this fight has been that cut.
And that's a bad cut. Luckily, he's got a great corner cut man in his corner, and George Hernandez, who's really good.
And where it happened, they will go to the scorecards if it leads to the stoppage of the fight.
All right. Right now, let's see how that cut looks. Looks like it's in the eyelid or under the eyebrow.
Saw that happen to Vito Mielnicki in the last fight.
Okay, here's a little angle turn. And then he kind of made that happen himself by that turn. He had his head a little bit too close. He knows he's cut there. He knows his eye is injured. He looks at the blood right there on his gloves.
The last time he was cut was back in December of 2018. So it's been a few years that he's seen his own blood in the ring.
And it's obviously it bothered him because it's the first time we've seen Ramos move straight backward.
Well, yeah, and his back was dust, so we didn't see him get cut, and we were wondering.
No, I did. We did. I called it when it happened.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
you did.
I
was talking to me.
You saw it.
Yeah, well, we knew something happened. I didn't know if it was cut or not, though.
Yeah. 7th round. So now, the cut over that right eye of Ramos. Will it become a bigger factor?
Well, you can see his body language has changed right now. Ramos,
got that left hand high.
That's exactly right, and now he's boxing a little bit.
Counter combination by.
And that's probably what he's going to look to do right now, is to counter a lot.
With the pressure that he's been bringing into the fight thus far, he is already winning rounds. If he wants to be a little conservative, there's
nothing wrong with that.
Pick your shots, protect yourself, or just drop your hands. Like I said, he's the confident one in the ring tonight.
Another jarring jab from the southpaw Ramos to the face of the game Gonzalez.
And if the corner man and the cut man does a great job with the cut.
Cut man is George Hernandez.
George Hernandez. Sometimes you forget about it, the bleeding stop, and you go back to what you were doing, pressing.
Right hook upstairs by Ramos. Nice body shot by Ramos. A little wrestling.
And look, Ramos is right back to the pressure now.
Yep, going back to the front foot, back to delivering combinations and trying to keep Gonzalez on the ropes, backing him up with the series of left hands to the body.
Constantly going to the body.
As we mentioned at the beginning of the fight, that they are both proficient body punchers. Ramos more so. Up, downstairs, upstairs. There's another combination. And Ramos continues to break down Johan Gonzalez.
Got to be careful on the inside with the heads.
Yeah, they're barely missing each other when they're making their slips. But, you know, at this point, it's how they fight, and it's probably not going to change just because Ramos is cut, because the blood is not flowing and the cut is under control, and he's feeling comfortable to get back on the inside, and he's doing a great job at it.
Blood not flowing like the margaritas during Cinco de Mayo weekend. Is that right?
Which one?
The margaritas during Cinco de Mayo weekend. Mint juleps earlier today at Churchill Downs. Margaritas tonight, but here we've got Johan Gonzalez, Jesus Ramos, round number 7 in this 10-round affair being contested in the 154-pound weight class. And boy, you talk about money moves in this division. Terrence Crawford moving up. Errol Spence looking to move up. Tim
5'6" to the body.
Welcome
back up top.
Ortiz at 154. It's crazy what's going on in this division these days. And you're right, Keith. It's all Jesus Ramos again as we head to round number 8.
Yeah, Ramos is back to doing what he was doing when he was being very successful.
Another dominating round for Jesus Ramos.
Still to come, of course, tonight from T-Mobile Arena. PBC Pay-Per-View action. Cinco de Mayo weekend sees Canelo Álvarez look for his 4th successful title defense of the undisputed super middleweight title against the undefeated Jaime Munguia. We'll also see Mario Barrios finding a new home at 147. He faces Fabian Maidana, yes, the younger brother of Marcos Maidana. Speaking of younger brothers, Brandon Figueroa, younger brother of Omar Figueroa, takes on Jesse Magdaleno, younger brother of Diego Magdaleno, and then we'll kick things off. Montes Stanionis squaring off with Gabriel Maestre in the welterweight division. So much action tailor-made to your satisfaction on the Cinco de Mayo weekend, and this guy has been waiting desperately to get back into the ring. Lithuania's Montes Stanionis. He will fight here at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas to kick off the pay-per-view coming up tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, PBC PPV. This is round number 8.
And talking about the action, this has been great. Opening with a great straight left right there. Beautiful power shot by Jesus Ramos.
Yeah, the hardest thing that Gonzalez has done to Ramos was hitting him with his head, because his punches have had no effect on Ramos, and he's not really landing a lot. Ramos' defense has been really tight, really good tonight, and he's been slipping well and countering like that.
Ramos running away with the scores on Larry Hazard's unofficial scorecard.
And the head movement is just giving him fits. You know, he's a moving target. He's not just standing there. He's not just letting those combinations come off. Gonzalez, you know, putting in a valiant effort. He's doing what he can do.
Absolutely. And look, he's taking some hellacious shots tonight from Ramos, and he's still looking to find his power shots. Just having a hard time doing it.
And besides what we saw, what was that, early on in the first or second round, I haven't seen him get buckled in the same way. But
not in the same way, right?
And coming into tonight's fight, Ramos' opponents landed only 30% of their power shots, well below the 36% division norm. Tonight, Gonzalez is landing only 29% of his power shots. And again, they are not as effective as Ramos thudding punches.
Exactly. Here at ringside, we can just clearly hear the difference. I just like how they're both going back and forth, going to the body.
And there, speaking of power punches, Joe, I mean, it's all Jesus Ramos, 54%. Hey, anytime you're over 50%, you were having an outstanding night at the office.
And again, it's not because of a porous defense from Gonzalez. It's because Ramos has really been slicker than, you know, I've seen him in a while. His defense has been great. His angles have been good. And he's making it really difficult for Gonzalez to land anything clean.
And remember, Brian Custer told us heading into the fight that in conversation with Ramos, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to show, and he talked about it. We know he's capable of knockouts and putting on the pressure. He wanted to show that he can do it all, and he's doing it all.
I mean, Ramos clearly has trained well for this fight. Just all the movement, the angles, the way that he keeps squatting. You know, his legs are strong. His conditioning is great this fight. His punch output. You know, he's coming off of a loss, so he wanted to prove himself and show that he's a threat in this division.
And a loss that he probably, blames on himself more than losing.
And with all due respect, most ringside observers thought he earned
won the fight. Yep.
Échale agua en la cabeza.
Si quieres escupir, acá está. Échale agua primero. Échale agua.
Relájate.
Mejor esto peor.
No, lo que hace falta es que tire.
¿Qué round vamos?
Lo que tú a veces te queda muy alto, Manota.
Vamos para tirar golpe.
Ice.
Vamos para el 9. Vamos a tirar golpe.
No, pero tíralo fuerte. Y lo está tirando a huevoneado arriba. Fíjate que él te está bajando la mano y open nada más. Mira, métele un gancho derecha abajo. Oíste, vamos allá.
Bien vivo nomás, bien vivo.
So we are set for the round here between Ramos and Gonzalez. This is round number 9, scheduled for 10, and Gonzalez coming forward, but not a lot of steam on his punches, trying to find that Hail Mary, and with Ramos dropping his hands momentarily, did score the combination. And again, a right hand by Gonzalez.
Off of that double jab.
And the jab is the key.
Some nice tactics there by Gonzalez, but Ramos still being invasive.
Yeah,
all that
Gonzalez
head movement.
Fought at an international level out of Venezuela. Here in his 37th professional fight, the 33-year-old with 34 wins, 2 setbacks, 33 knockouts, but again, having never faced anyone on the level of Jesus Ramos, and it's all about levels in the sport of boxing.
Yeah, I mean, his record was built overseas. Coming here, you're going to get the best of the best here in the United States right now. And even if you're from another country, you're going to want to come here. This is where the action is, the money is.
Yeah, he lives
else.
here now in Las Vegas, fighting for the first time here. And of course, in Vegas, you can get all kinds of quality sparring.
Absolutely. And it looks like he shored up his defense from those films. I know Keith and I both agree on that. So, you know, he has made progress under Ismael Salas. So.
Now, having said all of this, we watched Jesus Ramos. We told us he was going to start fast. He was going to break him down. We've seen him have the statistical edge. He seems to be in control. Here we are. PBC on Prime Prelims, ranked number 6 in the top 10 against an unranked fighter. Does he need to start to put the pedal to the metal, Keith, and look for the finish?
If he wants to make that statement, he's going to have to do it. But, you know, he's got an opponent here that's been taking the shots. It's not his fault. You know, you said 50% landed body shots.
Look at the dominating rounds, total punches landed.
So the one thing that we are witnessing right here, right now, is the sheer durability of Gonzalez.
And that cut, of course, also a concern as he, well, I guess it's not with dropping his hands like that, Joe, against the ropes. Although, moving around, you know, defensively, he's good defensively, don't get me wrong, obviously, but I just wonder, again, playing. And on cue, that counter left hand drop, Gonzalez.
Oh, he's hurt, he's wobbly.
So, I guess Jesus Ramos heard me at ringside, Keith. Going for the finish, dropping Gonzalez here in round number 9. win. And going the fight is over. Round number 9 leads to the stoppage win. Last time he took an L, but tonight Jesus Ramos bounces back with his 17th knockout victory, becoming the first man in 37 fights to stop Johan Gonzalez.
Well, he deserved that win and that knockout. He really earned it, and he did it kind of not in the southpaw position. He was almost in a right-handed stance when he hit him with that left hook.
I actually slightly missed it, Joe. I'm looking forward to the replay that's going to be happening.
Yeah.
But he was throwing these big, wide hooks. He was missing all night. But you guys know my nickname, One Time, because that's all that it takes. And we witnessed it right here with Jesus Ramos with that punch. And then the beautiful finish when he put his foot on the gas to give us a terrific performance tonight.
Here we go. Let's see if he was in the stance. I think I saw him in here. It was not a southpaw position. See, it was he was in the right-handed stance. It was a left hook from a right-handed stance that threw off Gonzalez, who didn't expect it. It was a nice surprise punch from right there, a slip
there it
and
is,
a hook.
from the right-handed stance.
Yeah,
right on the chin.
Closes the book on Johan Gonzalez as we look to the finish. A flurry of shots here, guys.
Yeah, it was pretty much over once he got up. He was still wobbly. I give him credit, Gonzalez, for having the strength and the power to get back up, but
referee Harvey
that was it.
Intervenes, stops the fight here in round number 9.
Yeah, he's
great fight tonight.
The referee's right on top of the action. He has seen enough. And Johan Gonzalez put up a bit of an argument saying, well, you're down on the ground again, and I want to protect you, my man. So for Gonzalez, he tastes defeat for the 3rd time, but gets stopped for the 1st time. And meanwhile, father and son celebrating Jesus Ramos, a primetime player in the 154-pound weight class. So Jesus Ramos, just 23 years of age, in his 3rd consecutive fight here in Las Vegas, picks up another win, rebounding from that controversial setback against Erickson Lubin, but and really showing continued improvement. And at 23, it's all about evolution. It's all about constant growth. And for Johan Gonzalez, as game as they come, trying to put up the best fight possible, but again, simply outclassed, outgunned by Jesus Ramos. Vamos, Ramos! So, we will now make one more time. Let's go inside the ring. Here's Miguel Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes and 56 seconds of round number 9 as referee Harvey Doc called the stop to this contest. For your winner by TKO, Jesus El Mono Ramos.
So Jesus Ramos improves to 21-1 with his 17th knockout. I want to say a special thanks to Keith One-Time Thurman, former unified welterweight champion, who joined us as an analyst here on the PBC Prelims on Prime. My other main man, Abner Martes, former 3-division champ. He will join Joe Goosen and I ringside for the PBC Pay-Per-View coming up at the top of the hour. But the man of the hour right now is Jesus Ramos, ranked number 6 and looking to continue to grow as a fighter and climb the rankings, and wanted to show growth. He showed his power, he showed his technique, he put together the combinations, and that left hook from the orthodox stance knocked down Gonzalez, and in the end he became the first man to stop the Venezuelan Gonzalez. as Jesus Ramos continues his climb. Let's go back to BC.
Great showing by Jesus Ramos. I mean, that kid is really good. I'm with Mo. The 154-pound division, man, that looks good. You saw a top prospect in Vito Mielnicki to start off the prelims. Now you got one of the top contenders in Jesus Ramos. And then you got guys like Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence coming up to this division. I mean, it is loaded. Of course, on PBC Pay-Per-View, the main event. And it's already interesting enough on paper. But the matchup between the two trainers just adds to the drama. You got Freddie Roach, his record 7 Trainer of the Year awards go against Eddie Reynoso, who has also collected 2 of those since 2019. You know, Freddie has coached 47 men to world titles, while Reynoso has done so for 7 different fighters. In fact, Eddie has the distinction of being 3-0 against Freddie in world title fights. Reynoso, Oscar Larios, they beat Freddie, and Israel Vasquez also beat Willie Yorin. The most recent matchup you might remember was Canelo beat Miguel Cotto when Miguel Cotto was with Freddie Roach. Speaking of Hall of Fame trainers, of course, we've got one with us on PBC on Prime. Yes, the very own Joe Goosen here to break down this matchup of trainers. And, you know, Joe, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the night. Canelo hasn't knocked out an opponent in his last 4 fights, longest stretch of his career that he's gone without a knockout. How does Eddie Reynoso draw up a game plan if he's going to get a knockout of Munguia tonight?
Well, I think he's going to do what I would have done, and that's study the film on Munguia and see where his deficiencies are where he's vulnerable, when he makes his mistakes, and then work on that and say, look, when Munguia throws a certain punch, let's say a left hook to the body, he's dropping his right hand. That's where we want to hook. Or when Munguia throws a jab, he's not bringing it back entirely quickly. We want to make a little slip and counter with the right hand. All sorts of things like that. I'm sure they're breaking down film, and that's the way you do. You've got to, you know, invest the time to study your opponent and then develop a game plan around it.
You know, this is Jaime Munguia's second fight with Freddie Roach, beginning in January when he got that big victory over Ryder. In fact, he stopped Ryder, and, you know, Munguia even told us, he said, Freddie Roach made me be more aggressive. But how do you impart, let's say, your blueprint on a fighter in just 2 training camps?
With Munguia, you're speaking of right now.
Yes.
Yeah, with Munguia, you look, I mean, Canelo's an open book. You've seen so many of his fights. He pretty much does the same thing regularly, but he does it really well. I mean, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and he's very opportunistic, Canelo is, and then he hits very hard. He's not the combination puncher he once was earlier. He's more of a 1-2 and sometimes 2 and 3 punch guy, but they're very hard, they're very solid, and they're very accurate. So, you know, Munguia's got to probably play it a little safer than he normally does. You don't want to open up full bore with Canelo because he will capitalize on any mistakes you make. So I'm sure Freddie went to work to shore up a lot of the defensive mistakes and maybe have him a little bit more patient in his attack and not so full bore where he makes mistakes and leaves openings, which he has done in the past. There's no doubt about it.
Let's talk a little bit more about a trainer and your part when it comes to a fight of this magnitude. You know, this is really Jaime Munguia's first big fight on this type of stage, and I'm talking about a pay-per-view stage, but obviously Freddie Roach has been here a number of times, especially with Manny Pacquiao. How does a trainer help his fighter when you're coming on this type of a stage, and it's his first time, but you've been here many times?
Well, one of the great things about being at the big show as many times as Freddie has, he's going to bring an air of confidence because he's been there. He knows what it's all about. And that confidence he will pass on to his fighter. He'll keep his fighter calm. He'll keep him focused. He knows the right routine to implement from the hotel to the arena, to the locker room, to the ring walk, to the ring. There's a certain formality to it that if you know what you're doing, you can make your a fighter feel very comfortable and very confident if you do that right. And Freddie's done it so many times. He knows what's that's all about, and I'm sure he's going to have Munguia nice and settled into this fight, and he's going to be very focused.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe Goosen, appreciate the insight. I'll let you get ready. Of course, the big pay-per-view card is coming up in just minutes.
Incredible fight. Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
I'm with you. All right, thank you, Joe.
Brian.
Listen,
Okay,
you know, it's hard to comprehend, but at 33, you know, Canelo Álvarez has been fighting professionally for more than nearly 2 decades. He has 64 professional fights. The first of his only 2 losses came over a decade ago, and that was to Floyd Mayweather. And according to Canelo, he says it was the best learning experience he's ever had in the ring.
Boxing's undisputed #1 attraction, Floyd Mayweather.
Sí, no, cuando peleé con Floyd Mayweather, obviamente, pues él ya tenía muchas peleas en esos escenarios, ¿no? Mucha experiencia también. Yo sentía que podía ganarle, ¿no? En ese momento.
Canelo Álvarez certainly has the opportunity to be really a superstar. He's got the goods. And a double left hand by Mayweather.
No estaba listo para una pelea de esa magnitud, con esa experiencia, con esos reflectores.
What a sublime right uppercut by Mayweather.
Aprendí muchas cosas, un peleador muy inteligente, cómo se manejaba arriba del cuadrilátero, cómo hacía las cosas, tranquilo, relajado, ya con la experiencia. Creo que aprendí muchísimas cosas de eso.
Mayweather remains money in Las Vegas.
Y obviamente me dolió mucho en el orgullo porque quería ganarle al mejor, ¿no?
Canelo may well be the fighter of tomorrow. He is not quite yet the fighter of today.
Y lo primero que tiene que aprender un peleador es saber perder, saber que perdiste con alguien mejor que tú, y perder la primera vez pues te deja mucha enseñanza, es lo que aprendes para empezar. Floyd Mayweather creo que demostró su mejor experiencia en tantas peleas con grandes campeones. Al final perdimos, pero como te digo, a partir de ahí Saúl se convirtió en un mejor boxeador.
You know, that loss to Floyd Mayweather Jr. certainly disappointing at the time, but it taught Canelo Álvarez a whole lot. Look, he was just 23 at the time, and listen, unbeaten in 43 fights when he fought Mayweather. Jaime Munguía unbeaten in 43 fights coming into tonight. Can't wait for tonight. It is the pay-per-view main event. But first, we got one more thing here for you. A look at why this fight is one that you certainly need to buy.
There's a rare collective of sporting events that seem to make the world stop. For an instant, our attention is undivided and our differences seem unimportant. Nothing else matters. And every once in a while, in Mexico and America, the world stops for Canelo Álvarez. Now he finds himself in the most consequential fight of his career. A win catapults him further into untouchable greatness. Another necessary step towards anointment as Mexico's boxing king. A loss launches his entire future into the air. There's no middle ground. He's reached the crossroads. It's a fight of magnitude and scale, of prize and pride, never touched by a country filthy rich in boxing legacy. It's been over 50 years since the last all-Mexican undisputed title fight happened. Chavez, Marquez, Morales, Barrera. None of these Hall of Fame names ever fought for an undisputed title before. Simply put, it's the highest stakes Mexican fight ever. And now, it's personal. All happening on Cinco de Mayo weekend, now a boxing tradition and its biggest annual party, preceded by the kinetic anticipation of Fight Week in the Mecca of boxing. It's spectacle and fanfare, gamemanship and boiling points. It's Vegas, baby. It's pure lightning. Mexican fans electrify America's wildest city as everyone else back home glues to the TV, all to cheer on their hero. But who that is may not be as clear-cut as it once was. Regardless, it's two of Mexico's prodigal sons, each rooted in humble beginnings, who crossed into the land of opportunity and reached the peak of the sport. All with the wind of country and family at their back, it's the Mexican and American dreams rolled into one, reincarnated over a 20 by 20 sheet of canvas. So tomorrow, the world will spin again, but tonight the world watches, while Mexico sits on top. It's Canelo Álvarez versus Jaime Munguía in the greatest Mexican fight ever made.
Make sure you order that pay-per-view right now. Here's a look at the entire fight card coming your way on PBC Pay-Per-View. Of course, the main event, Canelo Álvarez taking on the unbeaten Jaime Munguía. Munguía 43-0. First time Canelo fighting a fellow Mexican in 7 years. This is the biggest fight in Mexican boxing history. The co-main, Mario Barrios, former world champion, now fighting at welterweight, taking on Fabian Maidana. The last name sounds familiar. It should. He's the younger brother of Marcos Maidana, of course, the former world champion at welterweight. And then you'll also see Brandon Figueroa taking on Jesse Magdaleno. Two former world champions go at it, and we'll start it off with Hernandez Stanionis. He's been away for 2 years. He's taking on the unbeaten Gabriel Mastre. Thanks for joining us here on PBC on Prime. Joe Goosen, Keith Thurman, Mauro Ranallo, and Jim Gray. I'm Brian Custer. We'll see you on the pay-per-view. Click and buy and enjoy the action.